Welcome to Life After, a podcast for women to take you from feeling like you're just surviving to thriving, to creating a life you really love. Expect to discover tips and tricks to get there. Each episode will have actionable steps to empower you to make changes. I started this podcast because I've been through it all, from getting out of a marriage with a narcissist to completely rebuilding my life. And now I'm on a mission to help you too. You can change your life. It's absolutely possible. Good days aren't found. They're created through gratitude, unknown. Gratitude makes sense of our past, brings peace for today, and creates a vision for tomorrow. Melody Beatty. As we express our gratitude, we must never forget that the highest appreciation is not to utter words, but to live by them. John F. Kennedy. The single greatest thing you can do to change your life today would be to start being grateful for what you have right now. And the more grateful you are, the more you get. Oprah. In this episode, we are going to talk about gratitude and the benefits of having a gratitude practice. You might remember the last episode of season 2, last December, another episode about gratitude. You'd be right. That's because in December, I do the same 2 episodes. The first is about how to get through the holidays when you're dealing with toxic or narcissistic people that may be particularly close to you, like extended family. That episode came out 2 weeks ago, and you still have time to listen before you see your family for the holidays. If you already have a daily gratitude practice, that's awesome. Keep it up. You already know many of the benefits that it can give to you. If you don't, I invite you to try it out for a month. Give yourself a 30-day challenge to acknowledge 3 things you're grateful for every day. It can be first thing in the morning, during your lunch break, or right before you go to bed. It doesn't matter when you do it. However, if you do it at the same time every day, or during a routine you already have established, like a morning routine, the habit will build more quickly. In my pessimist years, which was most of my adult life, I didn't believe in gratitude. I didn't have a gratitude practice. And I really didn't understand all the benefits. But now that I know, I want to share it with you. Personally, I do 10 gratitudes a day, almost always in the morning. Again, do it as part of my morning routine so it helps habit stack. First and foremost, I can see that my days go better when I start my morning routine, including the gratitude practice. Secondly, when I do them, I will often stop and really think about that thing or person that I'm feeling grateful for, and it deepens those positive feelings. The quote by John F. Kennedy really speaks to me because when we take the time to really focus on our gratitudes and lean into them, our life really does change. Now, there are days I'm on the gratitude struggle bus. I'm sure you've been there. Some days, it just simply feels more challenging than others to get to 10 gratitudes. So I have some standard things that I consistently remind myself that I'm grateful for. Sleep is number 1. I don't always sleep well, as many of you know. So when it's good, I remind myself how grateful I am for that. And when sleep isn't good, when it evades me, I remind myself how grateful I am when it is good. So there's always that silver lining there. And of course, my kids often make the list. So do many of my friends. Thank you to my besties. You know who you are. The work that I'm doing often gets an honorable mention as well. Already, you can see that there is so much in our lives we can be grateful for. Now we're going to get into the really good stuff and why a gratitude practice can really matter. Gratitude is one of those deceptively simple practices when it's genuine, not forced positivity, right? We don't want to be engaging in toxic positivity. It has real measurable benefits for your mind, your body, and your relationships. So here's what gratitude actually does. When it comes to your mental and emotional benefits, gratitude is profound. It reduces stress and anxiety. And it does this by shifting your brain out of that threat scanning mode, right? Where you're constantly looking for the bad thing that's going to happen. The gratitude helps you minimize that. It interrupts rumination. Rumination are those unhelpful thoughts that are just constantly looping in your head again and again and again. Gratitude builds emotional resilience, right? Especially, you can build resilience anytime, but it is especially good to focus on your gratitudes even during hard or difficult, challenging experiences or situations, but certainly afterwards. We often see, hindsight is 2020, right? So we often see the benefits that we actually got out of something that felt in the moment like it was too much for us. All right, gratitude improves our mood and it lowers rates of depression over time. Gratitude also creates perspective without minimizing the pain. That's the part that really matters, right? A true gratitude practice isn't about, again, it's not toxic positivity. It's not about avoiding or minimizing what's really happening. It's creating that perspective for you to focus on the things that make you feel better, that are abundant in your life, that you're grateful for. For your nervous system and your physical health, gratitude is really meaningful, and it can do the following things. It can improve your sleep quality. Ding, 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 ding. We love that one, right? I love that one. All the research that's out there about the benefits of getting a good night's sleep. Gratitude can help you do that. And even if you have a gratitude practice during the day, you could even just briefly pick a couple of gratitudes right before you go to bed, and that might help as well. Gratitude also lowers your cortisol, which is the stress hormone, one of the stress hormones. I think it's the main stress hormone, but don't quote me on that. And so it's going to reduce chronic stress that you might be dealing with. And finally, in terms of your physical health and your nervous system, gratitude is going to support your immune function, and your overall physical well-being. Now, when you're healing, especially after a toxic or narcissistic relationship, but when you're healing from anything challenging, gratitude is pivotal because it can help you rebuild trust in yourself, particularly, again, if you've experienced some gaslighting from a toxic person. It helps you restore your agency, right? It helps you notice that you can see the good things in life that are happening, even if life isn't perfect right now. Another thing that gratitude can do for you when you're healing is it separates the present from the past. So I think that really builds into that perspective piece. It helps you get some perspective and not focus on the past, helps you realize that you're not stuck there any longer. Now, these are some of my favorites because gratitude can really powerfully improve our relationships and our connection with others. It simply strengthens healthy relationships. When you have gratitude in your life and you're feeling grateful and you're focusing on those things that are good in your life, when it comes to relationships, the people in your life are going to feel more seen and valued, right? That's one of the really big shifts I think that I have noticed most in the last probably couple of years as I've really settled into my gratitude practice is I feel really appreciative for the people in my life. And not only are they on my gratitude list, but I find myself telling them that I appreciate them, and the reason why. So That's a super big benefit. Gratitude can also sharpen your discernment. So, and again, I think this as you settle into a gratitude practice. For those of you who might already have a gratitude practice, I'd love your feedback on all of these tips. Which ones have you noticed? This one, I think, this sharpening discernment, I think, is valuable because you can really start noticing who contributes to your life versus who might be draining you in some ways. And I think one of the ways that you do that is when you're tracking what your gratitudes are. I write them down every day as part of my morning routine. You start to see over time, what are those names that keep showing up again and again and again? Who are those people that show up for me? Who are those people I can reach out to and I can count on? And who are those people I'm really connected with? And of course, the other side of that is, of course, who are the people in my life that are in my life and I see regularly or spend time with regularly and are not on my gratitude list. So it really helps you get that clarity and that discernment when it comes to your relationships and your connections with others. And the last one that we're going to talk about is it reduces your tolerance for toxicity because your baseline simply rises. One of the things I'm most grateful for, no pun intended, that's not really a pun, but you get my point, is that my baseline has changed, right? Before, when I was a pessimist, the focus being on everything that could go wrong, Murphy's Law, anything that can go wrong will. And so shifting that baseline and having a higher baseline for noticing the things that are working in your life, that's really been helpful over time. So the thing is, gratitude isn't about pretending things don't hurt, that they didn't hurt, or that there aren't challenges or issues or problems, circumstances, right? It's about training your mind to see that you have a choice, to see the safety in the situation or in your life, right? In this situation, the safety in the situation on the micro level and the overall safety in your life on a macro level. And it also helps you to see the possibilities. That's really one of my favorite parts about gratitude is I get to imagine all the possibilities based upon all the amazing people and events going on in my life. And when you train your mind for these things, to see that choice, to understand and lean into that safety and to discover those possibilities, the gratitude can be your first step towards real change in your life. Even starting with something small, right? We often are talking about baby steps. Even when starting with something small, you can start rewiring how your brain processes your life. So choose to take that step towards gratitude and see how your life transforms. This podcast is a valuable resource for anyone seeking to make meaningful changes in their life. I'm here to support you on your unique journey, offering guidance and encouragement every step of the way. There will be new episodes on the second and fourth Wednesday every month. Please follow on your favorite podcast platform so you don't miss any episodes. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen to today's episode on the benefits of gratitude and a gratitude practice. Remember, a few moments of gratitude each day can change how you think, how you feel, and what you believe is possible. As we wrap up, here's the thing. I've made every mistake. I've literally been there and done that. It's one step at a time, and you'll get there. There's hope. You've got this. If you're struggling in a relationship and wondering if it might be controlling, you're not alone. Download my free PDF at locatecoaching.com/free gift to to help you find clarity and confidence. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I'll see you soon.